If you've ever wondered if Melt Ganyu or Freeze Ganyu is better, you've come to the right place. I have built both teams and I will take you through each gameplay video, then explain how to build these two compositions. My opinion is that Melt Ganyu is better overall, but that's mainly because it uses Zhongli, one of the best characters in the game. There may be some situations where one is better than the other, but as you can see, both teams clear this chamber with plenty of time remaining. First up, we have Melt Ganyu, clearing floor 12 chamber 1 in just 23 seconds. This composition plays in melee range due to Xiangling, and you need Zhongli's powerful shields to protect Ganyu from interruption. This is a triple element team, where all 4 DPS contribute equal amounts of Cryo, Pyro, and Geo damage once farmed with good artifacts. This is my favorite build due to its sheer offensive and defensive power. Next, we have Freeze Ganyu, clearing the same floor in 34 seconds, nearly 50% slower. This composition plays at close range as well, due to Mona's elemental skill. However, we are in less danger because Venti's burst and Mona's freeze reaction stuns the enemy for most of the fight. I've optimized this clear to not require Diona's shield, but it's there for safety if we need it. Even though this team is slower here, it has more consistent clear times because it's not dependent on any particular burst being available, and it instantly beats floors with enemies that get sucked into Venti's burst. Melt Ganyu uses the Wanderer's trope set for the 35% bonus to charged shots, since she can make use of the elemental mastery in it. The downside is that her burst becomes relatively weaker. This is a 4 DPS team. All members need crit stats, so farming this team will take a long time. These artifacts here are just recommendations, none are mandatory. If RNG offers you a better set, go ahead and use it. Xiangling is the best Pyro counterpart to Ganyu, because every single hit of a Guoba and Pyronado infuses the enemy with Pyro, and they both work off-field. However, because they are melee range skills, you need Zhongli in the party for his extremely strong shields. As this is a triple element team, with Pyro, Cryo and Geo all doing equal amounts of damage, Zhongli's universal 20% resistance shred is extremely useful here. Not to be ignored also is the CC effect of his burst, which holds the enemy in place and allows Ganyu to fire her charge shots. His shield is so strong that even in a DPS build, this team does not need a healer. The last spot in the team can be flexed. I use Albedo because Geo Resonance is the strongest resonance right now, offering 20% Geo resistance shred, 15% shield strength, and 15% damage done. He also provides a Geo construct for Zhongli's pillars to resonate off. Lastly, he serves as a Geo particle battery too. Depending on his build, if you decide to build him for his burst, he also boosts elemental mastery, further increasing the melt reaction damage of your team. If you don't have Albedo, there are many other great choices too, such as Geo Traveler, Bennett, or even Venti. Freeze Ganyu makes full use of the Blizzard Strayer set, which gives a massive 40% bonus to crit on frozen targets. Combined with a 20% crit to charge shots from her passive talent, 15% from Cryo Resonance, and the 5% base crit you start with, she already has 80% crit chance before looking at artifact substats or weapon stats. Most people will find it hard to build this team because you really need Mona. She is the only off-field character that applies Hydro to trigger the freeze reaction, and she is not easy to obtain. While Xingqiu can apply Hydro with its burst, it only triggers on normal attacks, while Ganyu uses charged shots. Only Ganyu and Venti do significant damage in this team, and need good artifacts. For Diona and Mona, you could use any artifact sets you like, as they don't do much damage in this team. This team seems perfectly made for Venti. His burst groups enemies together, concentrating and multiplying the effect of Ganyu's burst. Also, Ganyu is one of the few main DPS characters that can hit enemies trapped mid-air by Venti's burst. He is also guaranteed to always reduce cryo resistance with his swirls, because frozen targets are also considered cryo-infused. Mona is here as a support. Her burst skill, Omen, increases damage taken by enemies by over 50% for 5 seconds, so you want energy recharge on her to use the burst as much as possible. There are some techniques you can use in this team to extend the Omen duration further, but that's beyond the scope of this video. Diona is also here as a support, so she doesn't need much farm. She provides shields and heals, so she just stacks HP on all her artifacts. She also provides Cryo Resonance and Cryoparticles to Ganyu. Lastly, this is a bonus clip of the same run with the Melt team without using Xiangling's Pyronado. I finished in 35 seconds, slightly slower than the Freeze team. A valid criticism of the Melt team would be, well, what happens when Pyronado is down? It costs 80 energy and we don't have a Pyro Particle generator. This team loses 1/3 of its DPS and has to rely purely on Cryo and Geo. There are a few teams which run Xiangling as the main DPS, and they always use Bennett to spam his elemental skill to generate pyroparticles for Xiangling. Unfortunately, that is not viable here, as that would take time away from Ganyu using her charged shots. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.